Thank you for joining us for the 2-minute drill. I'm Aram's Legion, joined on my left by Steve Ramirez and behind the camera, Fred J. Robledo.
Here, here.
We are talking about an annual biggie, Charter Oak, Glendora, the Mayor's Trophy. Even though the whole Mayor's Trophy aspect of this game has kind of gotten lost.
Is this like a mayor's bet? Is this like a Glendora Covina mayor's bet? Is that does a trophy go to the office of the mayor of the city of Covina or Glendora?
I think when Glendora wins, something happens, but I'm not sure when Charter Oak wins that anything happens. Does that make sense? that was kind of the sense I was getting the other day.
But this is always a great game. This is always a great game.
Yeah, well, it's been a great game.
It's been so competitive
the last couple of years, and the funny thing here, Freddie, and you know, this is I'm sure the two words that Charter Oak does not want to hear all week are Matt Fink, and why is that? Because Charter Oak, you know, they've had 2 shots at Matt Fink so far, and Matt Fink's won them both, 13-9 in 2013, and then I believe 38-37 last year. Both games that looked toward the end as if Charter Oak was going to win the game, and then a mistake or a big play by Fink or a combination of the two has sent Glendora to the win. And I find myself saying this a lot about Charter Oak in recent years. That you know they really want this game. You know, this is one that Charter Oak was thinking about for a while. And when you start talking like that, Fred, you're talking like that because they lost the previous year. Yeah. Said that about La Mirada. I'll say it later about Los Altos this year, and I'm saying it now about Glendora. Charter Oak's losing a few more games than I'm used to kind of seeing here. But you know, be that as it may.
Sometimes the tide is turning. I mean, Fink to Glendora is like he's their Hunley. In terms of Charter Oak, I mean, he's owned them. He's going for 3 years in a row.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I saw Glendora last week beat Los Altos, and that was, you know, battle of 2 Central Division teams that were undefeated. Glendora's the #1 ranked team in the division, and Glendora kind of does things that they kind of do the things that kind of stick in Charter Oak's craw. They're a plodding team. They're a big team. They're not overly athletic. They slow the game down. They let Fink make that big play on 3rd and 6 when he, you know, looks and finds nobody but scrambles for 7 yards and breaks your heart and you can't get off the field. They do all these things, and yet Charter Oak is this flashy team that scores in bunches and they look great doing, when they have big plays, they look great doing it. But then you look up at the scoreboard at the end of the game and it's a very close game because Charter Oak can't either put them away or because of
they can't finish the game.
Yeah, because physically Glendora's a little bit better. That's what I see happening in this game again. And I mean, I know Charter Oak wants it. I know they know they have some speed advantages on the outside. They're going to lead to some really big plays. You know that's coming. But on the flip side, can you stop Fink? Can you hang in the at the line of scrimmage with Glendora? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think if this game was played last week, I probably would lean towards Charter Oak the way Glendora had played, but last week they showed that when they have to step up to beat an opponent, they can. And
but who did they beat last week? I mean, they beat them by 50 points. Did their win last week? Wasn't it pretty easy?
I think he's talking about Glendora.
I'm talking about
Glendora. Oh, I think about Charter Oak.
Beating Los Altos. I mean, going into that game, I thought Los Altos had the team to beat Glendora. Just
for a half, you looked right.
Yeah. But just the way Glendora had played in its first 2 games, not overly impressive with their scores.
But you know, Glendora's played all pretty good teams. They haven't played any patsies or anything.
But they haven't played a team with the skill players of a Charter Oak.
They haven't played someone who's been able to really test their secondary.
Well, they haven't played someone that's got more than one fast guy. Let's just be honest here. Charter Oak's got 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, but the way I look at it, you know, Charter Oak, when they went up against a team that on the line is a little bit more physically imposing than them, La Mirada, I mean, the problem for Charter Oak, and I think Glendora is going to be a lot like La Mirada in the same way, or given those same problems, is how long are those drives going to be that Glendora is going to have? How long are they going to keep Charter Oak's offense off the field? Because Charter Oak wants to go back and forth.
Right.
They want to make it a video game.
Right.
And against Glendora, everything that I hear, and I've actually been going to the blogs and looking at some of the comments on this game. People just think that Glendora is just going to physically impose their will, that they're just bigger, stronger, and they're going to methodically move the ball up the field, take long stretches off the clock.
There, Freddie. You said bigger, stronger, but you didn't say faster.
Well, they have one guy that's probably more athletic and faster than anybody, and that's the quarterback, Matt Fink, who, you know, he's the X factor in a game like this.
And I've said it before, late in games, if you're going to have to stop Fink, if you're going to have to keep him out of the end zone, you're probably going to lose the game. I mean, because the guy just does too many things. Last week we saw it. Almost threw for 300 yards, ran for over 100, 3 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing. The guy's unbelievable. But again, this is the kind of speed that gives Glendora problems. So that both teams do things that give the other one problems. And it's led to these kind of crazy close games the last couple of years. This one's really entertaining. This one's going to be really, really interesting. And you know CO wants to turn the tables on Fink because maybe they play later on, Freddie, in the playoffs. But maybe they don't. And this is your last shot at him. God, I don't want to do it again because I've done it the last 2 years, and Fink has just stuck it right in you. I'm going to pick Charter Oak.
Wow. Amazing. You know what's amazing about that is I put my Tribskin pick 'em out this week, and I picked Charter Oak too.
Wow.
I've got Charter Oak. Just, I think they laid an egg against La Mirada. See, now you think it would be the same score. I think it would be a lot closer game. They played them a second time. I think this is their second chance to show what they're worth. I don't think Glendora is going to go undefeated. I think there's going to be a hiccup along the way. And going to Charter Oak, having lost the last 2, and knowing how proud the Ferrars and that coaching staff is, I just think this is the game. The Mayor's Trophy, everything. I think this is the game that they want right now, and I can see Charter Oak doing enough to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that Charter Oak always wants. I mean, I've covered this game over the years, and this is, for Big Lou, this is one of those games where he wants to win it. But when you have a star like Matt Fink, who they're never out of the game, I'm going to go with Glendora. And
just watch those kickoffs. Watch those kickoffs, Glendora. I don't think Charter Oak's going to do the same thing that Los Altos did.
I'm just going to put my faith in the star when the game is on the line. He's going to make the plays to win the game.
Well, he has the last 2 years. And by the way, we got to get you two out to see Matt Fink.
Yeah. I haven't had the
obviously, this game's big.
I've seen him. I saw him 3 times last year, but I'm gonna get. Yeah, and then once we get in the league, I think there's a time when there's a lot of chance to watch these guys.
Yeah, and
their league is going to be great.
You want to see Zion Eccles on the other side at Charter Oak too. So this, one of you, I don't know. We'll see who's covering it or whatever. But anyways,
we'll make those decisions later in the week.
Stevie's going to take Glendora. Freddie and I both have Charter Oak. This is a really, really good, interesting game. Should be very intense. And if it's like the last 2, and like so many others in the series, it's coming down to the final minutes. And that ought to be really interesting. Charter Oak hosting Glendora. Central Division showdown on Friday night. Get out there and enjoy it.